Okay, fair enough. Your Honor, our next witness would be Specialist Andy Schmidt.
Okay. Specialist, you may come all the way up to the witness stand here. When you get up to the chair, please remain standing and raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do. You may have a seat. Get yourself positioned by the microphone there, and when you are ready, start by stating your name, spelling your first and last for the record.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Andrew Schmidt. Last name is spelled Schmidt.
And your first?
Andrew, Andrew.
Thank you.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Specialist Smith, where are you employed, sir?
City Waukesha Police Department.
And how long have you been in law enforcement?
I'm in
sir?
my 21st year.
And as a specialist, are you assigned to a specific area, or can you just tell the jury a little bit more? What does it mean that you're in fact a specialist?
I work in our evidence and forensics unit, which is a promotional position from the patrol position.
And sir, directing your attention to November 8th of 2024, on that particular day, do you recall transporting some items to the crime lab for analysis?
I do.
Okay. And can you just tell the jury a little bit more? So what is the process by which items that are seized are brought to the crime lab for further analysis?
It depends on the type of case that we're investigating. The crime lab has certain limits to what can be submitted, or they have limits on how many items can be submitted depending on the, area of study that you want the crime lab to analyze. For example, DNA initially will usually only take 10 items, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on the approval process that you have to go to.
And so when an item is submitted to a crime lab for further analysis, is what is sent to the lab memorialized in some manner?
Yes, they have us write up a transmittal, which describes the item, the property number that is associated with the item that we're taking down there, as well as information on the case as well.
Okay. And so are you familiar with these transmittal forms, meaning if I was to show you that here today in court, would you recognize it, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Clerk, at this point, I would ask that we show the witness what has been previously marked as State's Exhibit 109. Sir, are you able to see the exhibit or no?
You have to slide it over.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Now are you able to see it, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And sir, is this the normal routine form that would contain what you submitted to the crime lab, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And that fairly and accurately depicts the form that you would normally submit to the crime lab?
Yes.
Okay. And that's what you submitted on this particular day, is that right, sir?
That's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I now move the exhibit into evidence and ask that it be received.
Mr. Lychwick, any objection to Exhibit 109 being received? It will be received.
Okay. Now, sir, in terms of this particular item, did you transmit to the crime lab several different items that are identified as white rope?
I did.
Okay. Do you know the significance of that white rope in terms of the investigation?
I am aware of it, yes.
Okay. What is the significance, sir?
White rope or rope-like substances had been located around the victim. And we had also, and that white rope in particular on this transmittal was obtained during the autopsy process.
Okay. And sir, on this particular date as well, did you submit a cardboard box that contained copper-colored metal projectiles?
I did.
And what is in fact, did you submit 2 cardboard box containing projectiles?
Yes.
And what is the significance of these projectiles, sir?
Those projectiles were located within the tarp where the victim had been located.
Okay. And so these 2 projectiles had come from the victim in this case?
Yes, that's what it was believed.
Just one moment, sir. You were saying? Yeah. And to clarify, the location of each projectile, one came from the victim's head, is that right?
I wasn't at the autopsy. I just had picked them up, but according to the transmittal, yes.
Okay. And then the second one came from the victim's torso?
Yes.
Okay. Specialist Schmidt, directing your attention now to December 2nd of 2024. Were you involved in the search of the defendant, Mr. Lychwick's vehicle on that particular day?
Yes, I was.
And in his particular vehicle was a Kia, is that right?
That's correct.
Would it be fair to say that the Kia was a gray-colored vehicle in nature?
Yes.
And in terms of the search of the vehicle, where specifically did this vehicle search take place?
The vehicle search took place in the Waukesha Police Department's pole barn.
Okay. And was the vehicle actually transported there from the site of a traffic stop?
It was, yes.
And why was the vehicle transported to that particular location that you just testified to so the search could commence?
Because we wanted to search the vehicle, and we knew that there were several items in that vehicle. So the pole barn was chosen because there was more room to operate and to conduct a better and methodical search.
And you used the word methodical in terms of the vehicle search. What do you mean by that? Can you clarify that just a little bit more?
Knowing how this investigation was going, we wanted to make sure that we searched the vehicle thoroughly and also documented the items that we removed from the vehicle appropriately. I've been a part of searches in the past where vehicles kind of get ransacked and people don't understand where items came from. That's not what we wanted to do with this investigation. We wanted to make sure that everything was thoroughly documented and where it came from.
Okay. And in terms of the, is it fair to say that the search of the vehicle was not only methodical, but it was deliberate as well?
It was.
Okay. And were certain measures or steps taken in order to preserve the integrity of the vehicle search when it was conducted?
Yes.
Can you please tell the jury what were those steps, sir?
Each compartment of the vehicle was searched individually, and as items were removed from that vehicle, we had placed clean white tarps down on the ground, so that way we wouldn't get anything dirty or contaminated. Each of those white tarps was labeled with the compartment of the car that it came from. We didn't move on to another compartment of the vehicle until we were done and satisfied that we had thoroughly searched that compartment of the car and we had satisfied what we were looking for.
So essentially you put out separate labels to denote each specific area of the vehicle so you knew what item came from what location of the vehicle.
That's correct.
And that was for better record keeping labor, so there was never any doubt about which item came from what location.
That's correct.
Okay. And to your knowledge, do you know whether Mr. Lychwick's vehicle trunk was searched?
It was.
Okay. And as a result of that search, do you know whether any particular firearms were located, sir?
A firearm was located in the trunk, yes.
And what type of firearm was that, if you recall, sir?
It was a semi-automatic pistol that was of the Luger style from a World War II era.
And, sir, if I showed you a copy of that firearm here today in court, do you think you would recognize it from the search?
I would.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach the clerk to obtain some scissors and gloves?
You may.
Okay. Okay. I got the gloves here. Do you have a pair of scissors, Madam Clerk? Thank you. Your Honor, this has been previously marked as State's Exhibit number 157. I would ask the court's permission now to approach the witness so I can show him this specific exhibit.
Mr. Lychwick, would you like to examine 157 first? All right, Mr. Lychwick looked at the court and did not acknowledge the court, so Attorney Tombasco, you may approach with it.
Thank you very much. And Your Honor, just so the record is clear, I've also supplied this witness with a pair of scissors from your clerk as well as a set of black gloves as well. Detective, do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes, this is the gun box that the firearm that we had seized from Mr. Lychwick's vehicle was collected in.
And you are aware which type of firearm is located within that particular glove box?
I am.
And there is something taped to the package of that exhibit, is that right, sir?
That is correct.
What is that?
The bullets that were included with the magazine originally, and the 2 test-fired projectiles that came from the crime lab that were also packaged originally inside the box.
And can you give us a little bit more? What exactly is a gun box, sir?
A gun box is a standard cardboard box that we typically package firearms in.
And is that box completely sealed, sir?
It is.
Okay. And that is indeed the firearm as you recall it when it was seized from Mr. Lychwick's vehicle?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move the exhibit into evidence and ask that it be received.
Any objection to the exhibit 157, Mr. Lychwick? Mr. Lychwick is not responding. That will be received.
Detective, I'm going to ask you with the court's permission in a few moments to actually break the seal on that particular gun, but is it completely sealed at this point, sir?
It is.
And why is that?
So that way we don't have any cross-contamination issues later on.
And is that firearm labeled in some manner?
Yes, there is a bar-coded label on the front of it, as well as labels from the crime lab from where they processed and analyzed it.
And before I actually ask you to break the seal, is that firearm been rendered safe, sir?
It has.
Okay. There's no ammunition in the weapon at this point?
No.
Okay. But are there some bullets that are on the exterior of that gun case as well?
There are.
Okay. And is that how you found that, or can you provide the jury with a little bit more information concerning that?
I had, knowing that this firearm was going to be brought in for an exhibit, I had removed the packaging that was included inside the box. Prior history with courts, sometimes the judges don't want ammunition inside the box, so I wanted to remove it ahead of time if it was not going to be allowed.
And Your Honor, at this point, I know it's a very sensitive exhibit, but I would ask that the witness be allowed to break the seal and then published by walking back and forth to show the jury the firearm.
Any objection to that proposal, Mr. Lychwick? Hearing none, I will grant that request.
And before we do that, actually, I thought of one other thing as well. Is there a magazine, sir, that's still contained in that box as well?
There is.
Okay. Is that the magazine that came from that particular firearm?
It is.
Okay. I would ask now that the witness be allowed to break the seal.
All right, you may proceed.
And sir, if you didn't mind just doing a couple of passes back and forth so the jury can actually see what it is that you're actually holding in your hand, sir.
The record will reflect that the witness has displayed the contents of the box. The firearm is still zip tied to the box, so it was displayed in that fashion back and forth to the jury.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Specialist Schmidt, when that firearm was discovered, was there anything in particular that you located of evidentiary value on the barrel?
There were some blue rags that appeared to be like shop rags that were attached to the firearm with several rubber bands.
Okay. And when the search was completed, was that disrupted in any way, or was that just the way that you found it?
That was just the way we had found it.
So you didn't add either the towel or the rubber bands when you transported it back to your evidence room for safekeeping?
No.
Now, Specialist Schmidt, when you were engaged in the search of this particular vehicle, did you locate any ammunition that correspond to that particular firearm?
Yes.
Okay. And if I showed you that here today in court, would you recognize it from that particular search?
Yes.
Okay. Detective, Specialist Smith, did you transport any of the projectiles that came from the victim in this case?
To the crime lab?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. And so would you recognize them here today in court if I showed them to you?
Yes.
And Your Honor, once again, I have two physical exhibits here. They're marked as 155 and 156. I'm happy to show them as well to Mr. Lychwick. I would ask that I be allowed to approach the witness after doing so and show these to him.
Mr. Lychwick, would you like to see exhibits 155 and 156? Mr. Lychwick is not responding. Attorney Tombasco, you may approach the witness.
Thank you. Sir, showing me what's been marked as State's Exhibit 155 and 156, can you please just tell us what are those two exhibits, sir?
The two exhibits are cardboard boxes with our walk-shop police evidence inventory labels on them. And then heat-sealed above them are two metal projectiles.
And do you know whether those two projectiles were the ones that came from the victim in this case?
Yes, those are the ones.
And again, you did transport those to the lab for further analysis, is that right?
I did.
Okay. Your Honor, I now move the two exhibits into evidence and ask that it be received.
Any objection, Mr. Lychwick, to 155 and 156? Hearing no objection, they are received.
Thank you. Specialist Nelson, I asked you a few moments ago about some of the towels that were found on the Luger firearm. Do you recall that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Why were those not disturbed when you located this firearm in the defendant's trunk?
Given the circumstances of this investigation, it was decided to not disturb them or to try to remove them. Our expertise in firearms is pretty substantial. However, the crime lab has better quality control and they're able to better process those items more than what we're capable of.
And, sir, was there a point in time in this investigation where you made another run and brought additional items to the crime lab?
I transported items 2 separate times to the crime lab, yes.
Okay. And do you know whether one of those times involved buccal swabs that came from Mr. Lychwick himself?
Yes.
Madam Clerk, can I just have this next exhibit displayed for the witness as well? Sir, are you able to see this on your screen?
Yes,
Okay. And this has been marked as State's Exhibit number 108. Is that right, sir?
that is correct.
Okay. Do you know approximately when you transmitted? Well, actually, let me back up and ask it this way. This is another form for transmittal of evidence to the crime lab. Is that right, sir?
That is correct.
Okay. So this is another example of something that you brought to the state crime lab for further analysis. Is that right?
It is correct.
Okay. And when we scroll down on this particular form, does it indicate what specifically you brought to the crime lab?
It does.
And what did you bring to the crime lab, sir?
4 DNA swabs from the defendant, obtained from his left and right cheek.
And do you know when these were brought to the crime lab, sir?
Shortly after December 6th.
Yeah, I now move the exhibit in evidence and ask that it be received.
Any objection to this exhibit, Mr. Lychwick? There is no objection from the defendant. Attorney Tombasco, this was 108.
It is, let me scroll up really quick. It is 108, Your Honor, that is right.
That will be received.
Sir, when a buccal swab is typically brought to the lab, is it very common for such a sample to be later tested by the crime lab?
If it's requested to, yes.
Sir, you mentioned just a few moments ago that you had made a third trip with items that were recovered to the crime lab. Do you recall that, sir?
Yes.
Do you recall when you made that trip, sir?
I made a trip December 5th, I believe.
Okay. And, sir, when you made that trip or prior before you made that trip, would you have also filled out a transmittal form for that particular trip as well?
Yes, each trip to the crime lab requires its separate transmittal.
Okay. And, sir, are you able to see a form that's, well, it's been marked now as State's Exhibit 110 on your screen?
The exhibit number isn't there, but I do see the form. Yes.
Okay. And, Your Honor, for the record, I would ask that this exhibit be referenced as State's Exhibit 110. There is no number on it, but that's what I would be requesting.
I'm sorry. There was a cough and I missed.
Sure. I would be asking that this be marked as State's Exhibit number 110.
Sure, it will be. Just make sure that when it gets into the record, it has that appropriate sticker on it.
Sure. Absolutely, Your Honor. And so you are able to see this exhibit as well, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on this particular exhibit, does it indicate whether some particular swabs were sent to the crime lab?
Yes.
And specifically, does it indicate several swabs for DNA from several boots?
Yes.
Do you know whose boots these are that were swabbed?
These were boots that were located in the defendant's vehicle.
So these were Mr. Lychwick's boots?
Yes.
And in addition to that, does it also indicate whether a swab of a particular firearm was administered or submitted as well?
Yes.
And that was a Luger pistol?
Yes.
And that was the same Luger pistol that you found in the defendant's vehicle?
Yes.
Yeah, I now move the exhibit in evidence and ask that it be received.
Any objection to the receipt of Exhibit 110, Mr. Lychwick? Hearing none, it will be received.
Specialist, do you know whether the boots that were swabbed were seized by the police in this case?
They were. We wouldn't swab them without seizing them.
Okay. And if I showed you those here today in court, would you be able to recognize whether those were the boots that were actually seized?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, for the record, these have been marked as State's Exhibit 150 for the right and State's Exhibit number 150A for the left boot. Once again, I'm happy to show them to Mr. Lychwick if he would like. I'd be asking to approach the witness.
Attorney Tombasco, you said 150 and 150A?
Correct. 150 is for the right boot and 150A is for the left boot.
Mr. Lychwick, would you like to examine those before they are presented to the witness? Mr. Lychwick doesn't respond. Despite making eye contact with the court, you may proceed.
Thank you. Sir, just to kind of set the stage a little bit, those two exhibits that I handed you, they are sealed, is that right?
They are.
And is that the common procedure for evidence that is seized, that it is sealed in that manner?
Yes.
And is that, again, to prevent any contamination?
Yes.
And so those two particular items have not been tampered with or altered with in any way? They are just as you received them when they were recovered from the defendant's vehicle?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move the exhibit into evidence and ask that it be received.
Any objection to the admission of 150 and 150A? Hearing none, it is received, or they are received.
Thank you. And I would be asking at this point for the court to allow this witness to break the seal on these items and again show them to the jury.
Any objection to that process, Mr. Lychwick? Hearing none, you may proceed.
there any particular order you want me to open them?
No.
You got the first one open.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, sir, I would, with the court's permission, of course, I would ask that you just do a couple of passes so the jury can actually see.
Why don't we have both boots opened,
Okay.
and then they can be published at the same time?
Perfect. Yeah.
You want me to hold them up together? Or?
Yes, please.
This is 150. And this is left and right.
And, Your Honor, I would just ask, is the witness able to stand and actually show them that way? It might be easier for the jury to see if we do it that way.
That's fine.
Swipe back and forth.
I think I just said that we'd like you to just stand at the witness stand. If you could just hold them up, and I'll ask that the record reflect the witness is holding up both the boots that have been received as an exhibit for the jury's view.
It will reflect.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Lychwick, would you like to ask this witness any questions on cross-examination? Mr. Lychwick does not acknowledge the court. Therefore, specialist, you may step down.
Thank you.